Hello everybody and welcome back to this tutorial, and right now let us call the function in our reverse shell which will allow us to download to the target system any program we find online. So all we will need to specify is the path to that program in a certain website, and our reverse shell will automatically download it in the target PC. So let us go to our reverse shell. Let me just delete once again everything unnecessary. And nano my reverse shell.py, and right here, in order to do that, what I need to import is the actual requests library. So import requests. What this library allows me to do is actually navigate through the actual website and get a certain URL and get its content so I can write it back to a file. So that is basically what we are going to do. We are going to get the URL, read its content, and write that content from that file into another file that we make on target PC. So we will call that function right here, and we will call it download. So simply as that. Now don't actually confuse this download right here with the download from here. This download is basically downloading the files from the target PC, and this download is actually downloading the files to target PC from the internet. So let us paste it right here, and this download function can take the URL as an actual input. So we will paste the URL to this function, and all we want to do is make something called get response from this certain URL, and in order to do that we need to code requests.get. This function right here will basically get this URL that we specified with the requests library. Then these contents we need to write to the file. In order to actually name a file the same as the file that we want to actually download, we can just type here file underscore name will be equal to the URL.split. We want to split it at the slash. Now I will explain this in case you don't understand. And we want to take the last part of the split. This -1 basically represents the last part. So let me show you what I mean. So for example, if you have google.com/release/downloads/python.exe. For example, this is the URL, and python.exe is the file that we want to download to the target PC. What this right here will do is it will split the URL everywhere there where it has slash, and it will take the last part from the URL, which will be just python.exe, which will be our file name. So let me just delete this. Our file name is specified. All we need to do is run our with open, and the name that we want to write to the file is basically stored in the file name variable. We want to write bytes, so VB, and we will call it the file descriptor as out_file. We can call it just like that. And what we want to do is out_file.write. And the thing that we want to write to this file is from the get response response, we want to get its content. This will be the content of the file that we are downloading. So this is basically the entire function. All we need to do is call it in our shell function once someone specifies a certain command. So in order to name that command, we can just call it get. So if you specify get and then there's an empty space and then the URL, it will download that file. So let's do it like this. We know that get has 3 letters, so else if command and then first 3 letters equal to get. Then we will try and accept the download function. So we will try to download the URL. So right here we need to specify the URL, and in order to specify any URL that the user of our server specifies, we need to type here command and from the 5th element till the end. Since our command will look something like this, so get google.com/release/blah blah blah, and then we need to get the URL from the 5th element, so it will just print the rest of this string. So let us go back here. We specify the download function right here, and what we want to do is send to our server reliable_send. We will send with a plus, downloaded file from specified URL. So we will send this, and in case it doesn't work, we will just send, so reliable underscore send failed to download that file. So these are the two strings that we were sent, whether the download function works or whether it doesn't work. And right now I believe this is all we need to code. In the server side of the code, we don't really need to code anything because we send the command to download the actual file from the URL, and then we wait for the reply. The reply will be stored in the result, and it will get printed either failed to download the file or download the file successfully. So nothing really here to code anymore. All we need to do is compile the actual program, root.wine, drive C, Python. We will see this 1,000 times in this section. So scripts by installer, no console, one file, reverse underscore shell.py. So let's let this compile, then we will transfer it to the actual Windows 10. So let me plug in my USB drive. Okay, USB drive plugged in, reverse shell compiled. We need to remove it or move it to the media root codinglife. Let me just delete everything right now. And I will run my server right here in order to listen for the connection. Let's run the reverse shell as well. So run it late. Okay, so fail to execute script reverse shell. Now this is a good error because I believe I know why it happened. So let me just show you what we can do. First of all, we will need to close this. This can happen because our reverse shell, if I nano it, you can see we right here have a requests library. Now, basically, our Py installer, or pardon me, our Py installer doesn't really know this library, so we probably need to actually download it to our wine folder. Or let me just check if I name this library correct. Requests. Okay, so that is correct. In order to get the requests library for the Py installer, we can type wine.root.wine. Then we need to specify drive C, Python 27, and then python.exe -m, and then pip install requests. You just press here enter, and right here it will collect the requests library, and then if we compile it once again, right now it should work. Hopefully this is the error, so we can actually fix it right here. Let's wait for the requests library to actually download for our wine, and you can see it is downloading it. So that was the actual error, and this is a really good error to actually get, since right now you know how to download any library that you might not have for the wine. So you can just download it with that command. Just at the end, all you need to specify is the name of the actual library. But right now what we need to do is actually compile it once again. So we compile it, we will plug in the USB drive in order to send it once again back. Okay, so USB drive is plugged in. This is compiling. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long. Here it is. Let us go to this directory and move reverse shell to the media root and codinglife. Go one directory back, run our server. Okay, address is already in use. We will fix that just by actually restarting our terminal. So open once again terminal. Let me enlarge this in. And let me go to my Python, reverse, and then run my server. Right here, I will paste once again my reverse shell, run it. You can see right now we do not get any error, so everything works perfectly right now that we actually downloaded the requests library. And here, in a few seconds, since the 20-second timeout, we will be getting the connection from our Windows 10 machine. And then what we can do is actually test our get function. So in order to test it, first of all, we need a file to download from the website. We will use my Apache 2 web server. So in order to actually run the Apache 2, you can just type service apache 2 start. Once it started the Apache 2, we go to the cd var www.html, and there you will need to download some of these files. So in my case, let us download the index.html. So let me just remove the other file so it doesn't confuse us. And we will try to download this index.html file. So if you go right here, 192.168.1.9, the index.html file is basically this HTML file containing the Facebook page. It is from our previous part in our course. So we'll try to actually download that file, which will contain the HTML code for the Facebook page. So let me close this. It is at place. We try to execute some command right here, and then we get http 2.168.1.9/index.html. Downloaded file from specified URL. So let us see if we go right here. We have the index.html file right here. If we open it, it should open the same page as the Facebook page saved on our Apache 2 web server running on Kali Linux. So let us see. It is opening, and here it is. Okay, our get function works really well. So that would be about it for this tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will continue coding in the next lecture. Bye.